Hey guys, buckle up for a new episode of Podcast with Mark Yuan, the one and only podcast made to give you tips and tricks about school life. In today's episode, we will talk about ways on how to stay motivated in studying. I invite you to share your thoughts in the chat box and let us make this podcast be interactive as much as possible. Okay. Are you guys excited? Did you bring any notes and pen with you? Okay. I guarantee you will all learn a lot in this episode, like my previous podcast. Oh, by the way, I actually invited someone to be my guest in this episode. However, something came up and she can't make it, unfortunately. Nevertheless, the show must go on and we'll start in a few minutes. Be right back. To start off, let me ask you something. What are some reasons or factors why students lack motivation studying? Come, share them here. I will be happy to read them and try to discuss a few of them. Aha, we have the first one. She said it's distraction. I agree with that. How about you guys? Well, distraction has many forms. It could be a noisy neighborhood, our gadgets, social media, and the counting goes on. What else? Laziness. That could possibly demotivate us in studying. Perhaps lack of sleep, divine attention, or simply doesn't want to do anything at all. Well, it really does happen to all of us. I mean, I get distracted too, and there are days when I feel like doing nothing at all. But of course, as students, that is not the right attitude we want to cultivate. Let me share some of the things I do to stay motivated while studying. Here's the trivia. The word motivation derives from the Latin word movere, which means to move. Thus, when thinking about motivation, it is good to ask two questions. What moves me to study and what moves me to persist in studying? Perhaps the answer to the first question is the value we attach to obtaining a degree or the interest we have in the subject, or it may well be the feeling of accomplishment that comes with graduating. While it is important to understand what motivates us to study, this episode will focus on the second question: what moves me to persist in studying? In other words, how I stayed motivated to study. Get your pens and notes ready. Number one, know exactly how much time you have left. As soon as the academic calendar is released, I mark the dates on my desk calendar. I then write how many days I still have to prepare or complete my IAs. Knowing exactly how much time I have to prepare keeps me on my toes. It moves me to keep on reading the LHRs, mojo issues, and other learning pathways. In other words, it makes me accountable for the way I spend my time. Number two, plan your week and set realistic study goals. Knowing how much time you have also makes planning for your time easier. I find that it's easier to stay motivated if I know what I want to get done during this week. For example, I will tell myself this week I will finish reading the LHR for a particular subject, usually the one with the nearest deadline of all. I will then make a checklist in Google Sheet to know what I have accomplished so far. In this way, I have a general idea of my workload for the week, so I can plan my day around my study goals. Taking off tasks from the checklist gives me a sense of accomplishment and drives me to keep on studying. For tip number three, vary your study method. Sometimes I just get tired of sitting at the desk and reading. When this happens, I usually take a break, and when I resume studying, I interact with the material differently. For example, I watch other video materials on YouTube and do some additional research to have a better understanding of the topic. I always do this for my math subject. Number four, I find it helpful to plan out my study sessions in 2 hour blocks by taking breaks, followed by a 30-minute break. Before I take a break, I stretch my arms and just feel happy that I am being productive and that I am one step closer to my goal. I study at home, so naturally I head to the kitchen to grab a light snack. The point is to do something that makes you feel energized, something that uplifts you. I also take a day off every week. I spend this time catching up with friends and family, watching series on Netflix, or visiting malls for a change of ambience. Sometimes I am too exhausted and I find myself napping all afternoon. What I do on my day off reflects my needs, both emotional and physical. Whatever I choose to do, though, must recharge and reinvigorate me. Tip number 5: sharing is caring. A good way to do this is to create a Facebook group or a Google Space where you can share useful resources you come across while studying. Having several people sharing what they have found on the web or any sources is also a great way to make studying exciting. It is also a good idea to overhelp or initiate. Ask your classmates how they are progressing with the task and give support. They might return the favor. Exactly how much time I have left planning my week around a set of realistic study goals, varying the way I study, taking study breaks, and sharing resources and my experience with other students. I hope you find today's episode really helpful, especially during the times when you are stressed out and feel like giving up. We all have our own share of struggles, and what is important is how we must overcome them. Get inspiration from others not as much by their successes, but more of their resilience and their drive to keep moving forward. Always remember, learning is fun. Stay motivated, everyone, and I'll see you in my next podcast. Feel free to comment on what topics you want me to explore next time. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated. So, bye for now. Thank you, and God bless everyone.